Hey guys, this is Ofo, and this is another Black and White 2 battle I had against PurpleChu, and this one's actually the rarely used tier with a new team I just recently made. This is actually only my fourth game with it. Well, technically second, because my first version of it was very similar, except I had a Lilligant instead of my Drudagon, and it just wasn't working out too well because I just didn't have enough Pokemon to be taking hits, and also, there was the sets were a tad bit different in general on that team, but I ended up going 0-2 with it, so I decided to switch up the team a little bit, switch up the sets, and this one has been working a little bit better. I'm now 2-0 with it, and this is the second game I had with it, and this turned out to be a pretty good game. So, just to overview my team quickly, because I think it is a pretty unique team, structure-wise. Uh, my first Pokemon that I actually lead with this game is Emboar. This is a Jolly Choice Scarf set with, I believe, Flare Blitz, Superpower, Earthquake, and Wild Charge. And this is a very effective set. I mean, Emperor in general can just hit really hard, and I also noticed that he has a super effective move against every single one of my opponent's Pokemon, which is actually why I ended up leading with it this game, because I figure no matter what he leads with, I can hit him with for super effective damage. So, next Pokemon is my Galvantula. This is a Choice Specs Modest Galvantula with Bug Buzz, Thunder, Energy Ball, and Volt Switch. So this thing hits super, super, super hard. Unfortunately, it doesn't have, because it isn't it isn't timid, it is going to be outsped by some stuff it normally wouldn't. But I have a different Pokemon on my team that tries to handle that. Then I have Crawdont, which is an Adamant Choice Banded Crawdont with let's see, what is its stab? Not Waterfall, but Crab Hammer, Crunch, Superpower, and X Scissor. And this thing hits super hard as well, but is pretty slow and is not jolly, even though it does have some speed investment. So it is going to be being outsped by a lot, but it will hit super hard, just like Galvantula. Then the rest of my Pokemon make up my defensive core. My main two Pokemon that are meant to work together is my Hypno and Aggron. Hypno works really well and rarely used because it completely walls a Moongus. It isn't affected by sleep, which is really nice, in a wall, and also takes those fighting hits aimed at Aggron. Aggron takes those dark and ghost hits aimed at Hypno, and has massive defense and also has the Stealth Rocks. I then have Drudagon, which is also very center to this team because he is a Dragon Tailer and Thunder Waver, which is designed to get as many Pokemon in the enemy team paralyzed, as so that my Galvantula and Crawdont can outspeed more things and just go to work. So that's my team. It isn't the most practical, but it's certainly fun to use, and it gave me a good game this match. So also, I just wanted to quickly mention I have changed the audio because I noticed the last few battles my voice has been pretty loud and the background music has been pretty soft. So I've altered that. Hopefully, the audio is better this match, and let me know if it's better. Hopefully, it is, or if there's anything I should improve. So without further ado, let's get into the battle. So, like I said, I do lead with my Emboar, as he leads with his Steelix. Unfortunately, this is not a very good matchup for me, despite the fact that both my stabs are super effective, and normally both of them would have taken him out. Unfortunately, I do know that Steelix does have that sturdy, and I can't lose my Emboar to an Earthquake, which would have happened if I'd stayed in, because I know that it is my one fast Pokemon on this team, and also threatens his entire team, so I cannot sacrifice it just to prevent him getting rocks up. So I do have to go out into my Drudagon, take the Earthquake, not nearly as well as I would have liked, and then Dragon Tail him out next turn as he does set up those Stealth Rocks, which my team handles decently, but because no one of my team absolutely just detests them, except maybe my Galvantula, who is 2 times weak to rock, but, you know, what can you do? So I do take that bug, I do Dragon Tail him out into his Accelgor, and actually take a Bug Gem boosted Bug Buzz, a lot better than I would have thought. It actually did probably just over half, and I am able to get that thing paralyzed, which is nice, which means I can be outspeeding that thing with any one of my Pokemon now. So he goes into his Lampent, not Lampent, what am I saying, Lantern, I don't know why I said Lampent, as I go into my Aggron, because I wanted to get the rocks up when that Accelgor was in with Bug Buzz going on, because I figured I could deal with him pretty well. Unfortunately, because he goes into his Lantern, I don't want to be taking a special water hit of any kind, whether it be Surface, Scald. So I do go into my Hypno to take either. I take that Scald beautifully, and then next turn go for that Wish, because I want to pass it out into my Druddigon, seeing as my Druddigon now is at a fairly uncomfortable range of health. So his Lantern actually goes for Thunder Wave the turn I go for Wish, and I do make a little ballsy play, and I just switch right into my Druddigon, because I figure this is the best time, and I might be able to take a Scald if he does go for it. But he actually goes for Heal Bell, fortunately for me. And, I mean, that Hypno is actually pretty important on this team, because it does have that, that Wish, and because none of my other walls have any kind of recovery, which does help. The thing is, though, Wish is very obvious when you're going to pass it into something, which can be a problem and makes it not as good as it potentially could have been, but, you know, what can you do? So I then switch out into my Hypno again, as he switches from his Lantern to his Accelgor. I don't know why he did this, but it ended up benefiting him, because this is not a situation I want to be in. My Hypno can maybe take one Bug Buzz, seeing the damage that a boosted Bug Buzz did to my Druddigon, but just it's not gonna be taking it well. So I go into my into my Aggron again, because I think this is the time I can get at my own rocks, which will help me quite a bit, seeing as he does have this Accelgor who is weak to Bug, and he does have that Typhlosion who normally carries Eruption who's weak to Rock. I meant Rock, not Bug, when I was talking about the Accelgor. So unfortunately he reveals that he has Focus Blast, and not only that, but I hit myself in Confusion after surviving at 1 HP on Sturdy after the leftovers gained from the previous turn. And I don't get up my rocks, which really sucks. It was a 50-50 chance that I would get up my rocks or not, and I just, you know, I flipped the wrong... I picked the wrong side of the coin there, so what can you do? So I do go into my Emboar and threaten him out with a Flare Blitz, but I don't go for the Flare Blitz, because I know I can take anything he wants to go for, and I know Superpower is going to be doing a lot as is. So I just go for Superpower, predicting him to go into his Lantern, and I predict nicely, because this Lantern would have been really hard to take down if I hadn't made that prediction, so that was a pretty key prediction this game. So I just go for another Superpower, not wanting to over-predict, especially seeing if he does go into his Accelgor again, which he does. He's not going to be taking that well, because Accelgor is very frail, and it is Stab, despite the resist and -1 attack. So, now I go to my Galvantula, knowing I can resist the Focus Blast and Bug Buzz. I won't take either too well, because Galvantula is just not that bulky, but he is my best Pokemon to go into right now, and I do have a free switch in. So, I do get Toxic on the switch, which is kind of unfortunate, especially because after Rocks and Poison damage racking up, I'm not going to be living that long. But I go for Bug Buzz over Thunder, because I know he still has this Steelix around, but I don't want to go for Energy Ball in case he stays in or goes into his Typhlosion or something. So I figure I might just go for Bug Buzz, which will do a lot to his Steelix regardless, because it is modest choice specs, even if that Steelix is max HP, because Steelix just does not have that impressive special defense stat. So I do go into my Druddigon here, mainly as fodder, because he's just not going to be doing that much with this Aggron around. And, I mean, it would be nice to get some other things paralyzed, but at this point, he's my weakest link. So my plan was to let him die, but he actually goes for Roar, which actually benefits me quite a bit, because he does roll me out into my Emboar, who can threaten out the Steelix with a 2x effective Stab Flare Blitz boosted by Reckless, and that will definitely kill the Steelix. So, I know he's probably going to switch out just to preserve that Steelix, because he knows how important that Steelix will be. So I do go for Superpower in case he did switch, and I figured that it would take out the Steelix regardless from that range of HP. So, that was my logic there. And I do predict right, he goes into his Lantern, even though I don't even think that thing would have been able to survive 2 Flare Blitzes anyway, but whatever. So now, at -1 attack, I don't know if a Superpower is going to kill, so I do switch out in my Druddigon as fodder for real this time, because, like I said, that I do not want that Emboar to die. He's definitely the strongest Pokemon on the team right now. He can outspeed everyone who's Pokemon, and has a super effective move against everyone. So now I go back to my Emboar, and from this range of HP, I'm not comfortable going for Superpower, and I decided just to go for that Flare Blitz, because I know Flare Blitz is going to take out that Steelix, and I need that Steelix gone, and I need to preserve this Emboar. and I'm willing to take a little bit extra recoil damage to ensure that KO. So now, with that Steelix gone, which is really good, because I don't know how else I would have taken that thing out, he goes into his Typhlosion to resist that Flare Blitz. Now that Typhlosion will not have taken that Flare Blitz well, but like I said, no reason to sack my Emboar at this point. So I go into my Hypno to take that. I thought I would take it better, but seeing that damage, it must be Spec, seeing as I am max HP, max special defense, and Hypno has pretty respectable base special defense to begin with, so that was definitely Specs. So I now go to my Crawdaunt, knowing that I can take a Fire Blast, not well, but decently, and kill him with a Crab Hammer. So I do go for Crab Hammer right off the bat, and do just catch that Accelgor on the switch in, take it out in one hit. That was pretty overkill because I am Adamant Choice Band. So now he goes into his Whimsicott, and I figure he's going to go for Substitute for his turn, predicting a switch with that Prankster. So I do go for Crab Hammer just to break it. And these Whimsicott sets tend to not have Grass-type moves. In fact, they're often like Taunt, Substitute, Leech Seed, and Encore, or something along those lines. So I figure I'm just going to stay in, keep on going for Crab Hammer, hope I don't miss. Because if this thing gets behind a sub, he can probably wall, or at least he could probably wall my entire team to stall out the rest of my team. So I just keep on going for Crab Hammer, hoping that he doesn't have a Grass-type move, or I will outspeed if he goes for it. So here he switches out into his Absol. I'm guessing he was hoping to take a Crab Hammer and then go for Sucker Punch to take me out. Fortunately for me, that is a 1-hit KO. Adamant Choice Band, Stab, that Absol is gone. That's why I love this thing, even though it is pretty slow, as you see right here, as unfortunately his Whimsicott does just take me out, but that's fine, because he did this, Crawdaunt took out his Absol and his Accelgor, and now I have 3 switch in to my, let's see, my Galvantula here, who can threaten him out with a Bug Buzz. So here, I figure that instead of going for the, obvious Bug Buzz, I go for the Thunder, because I know that I do not want him to go into his, Typhlosion to resist the Bug Buzz, and I figure even if he does, just stay in with Whimsicott and go for Giga Drain this turn, that I am going to be able to take a Giga Drain from that amount of HP, and if he goes to Substitute like he did, a Thunder will certainly take him out from this range of HP. So here he makes a pretty questionable play. He goes into his Typhlosion here. I think he was hoping to take a Thunder and then outspeed, and then just take out my Galvantula. Unfortunately, like I said, Choice Spect, Modest, Stab, high base power, that thing is dead. So that Typhlosion's out of the way. That's good for me. So now he goes into his last Pokemon, which is his Whimsicott. He tries to go for a Substitute, which I thought was a little foolhardy, especially because, I mean, he wouldn't have been able to survive a turn of burn damage afterwards, even if he had gotten that off. So, you know, that was the game. I am able to take out the Whimsicott with one final Thunder, and it ends up being a 2-0. I did have my Emboar and my Galvantula left, although that Galvantula, if the turn was allowed to continue, would have died from Toxic. So, but anyway, I thought it was a really good game. It was kind of cool seeing my Crawdaunt and my Galvantula do such work and 1-hit KO Pokemon from full health. I thought that was pretty cool and testifies to the huge power if they're able to get off a hit. And it shows how this team does function even if my Dredagon, my main Thunder Waver, gets shut down. So, good game, PurpleChu. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. And that's going to be the end.